What's up, YouTube? I'm Santi, founder of Perennial Technologies. In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys a full breakdown of how I use Make.com to build powerful automations that save time, eliminate manual work, and scale not only other businesses, but also my own. This is the exact platform I use to build automation systems for clients and run the back end of my own company. I'm going to walk you through everything from the basics to advanced builds and share some real world systems I deployed myself and given to clients on a silver platter. So firstly, what is Make.com? Make.com basically uses what's called APIs, which is a way to let different apps send data to each other, and it helps them work hand in hand, and it gives an easy to use platform to do that on. It is a extremely visual builder, which is better for logic and scalability. It's a lot easier to learn when you first get into it because there is no code whatsoever. You don't even need any knowledge of code to get into it. Another bonus of Make.com is the pricing advantage. It's extremely cheap to use. Even the free version gives you a lot of scalability and a lot of options that you can use. And we've used Make.com anywhere from building systems for chiropractors to wineries. This exact system that you see on the screen is a voice flow chatbot that was used, and it was deployed on a winery's website that's based in Alabama, USA. And you can see I use Make.com on the left and use VoiceFlow on the right, and they worked hand in hand perfectly. And this client uses that system to this day. All right, let's do a little system walkthrough. So when you first log in, this is even on a free account that I used to use. So when you first log in, you'll have your dashboard. You have, look, even since you can see it's a free account, you have 1,000 operations that you can use, 512 megabytes of data transfer, which is quite a lot. You can transfer a lot of information, especially when it's just text, which is mostly what you'll be using. You can add different people, notifications. You can get notifications on your phones, which is a very cool option. Variables that you can transfer through different scenarios, so different scenarios can even talk to each other, which is another awesome feature. You have your active scenarios. Right now I have none active, and recommended for you. Mostly you can ignore that. Really, what we'll be focusing a lot is on the scenarios button. These are all my old scenarios. I'll probably be blurring some of these out as they might have sensitive data to clients on them. But you have your active, inactive, all that good stuff. I had it categorized per client. I highly suggest that you guys do that. It'll keep it extremely neat. Or if you're using this for your own business, maybe categorize it between different areas of your business, marketing, maybe back end, maybe client operations, all that stuff. And then this is a new feature that I haven't added yet. It's AI agents. It basically adds AI into the scenario. I just use ChatGPT most of the time. And then templates. This is a extremely good starting point for any of you guys that are super new to this platform. They have a ton of public templates. I think they're up to like 1,500 or something. And I mean, all of these have a ton of different use cases. So maybe before trying to make your own scenario, maybe look it up on the templates. It would be a good idea. And then the second one that I want to show you guys was your webhooks and connections. So these are all the different connections that you make. Once you guys see my first tutorial, which I highly suggest you guys go watch, it'll be a tutorial on a beginner kind of system that you can use. You'll see we'll make a connection and that gets saved in here. So you don't have to make it again. It basically, like if I were to use my X account, then it's basically what connects the X module to my account so that they're linked together and I can actually post on them. So these are all your connections. Webhooks are also very important. When an app doesn't have a module already in Make.com, you can use what's called a webhook. So that kind of gets around Make.com not having a set application for it. They're a little bit more advanced to use, but you can still do it. And these are where all of your webhooks are saved so that they can be used again. This is an extremely useful dashboard. This is where you'll see the history of when you ran this scenario before. Maybe you have it running by itself. Maybe you can come check and make sure that the scenario is running on its own when it should be. This is where you will also handle errors. It'll give you all the error messages that popped up while you weren't looking. You can come back, check out all of those, maybe fix them. Now let's move on to my tips. I'll be using this scenario to show you guys how I do this. My first one would be label every module. Once you get into bigger scenarios, and this isn't even a big one, it may look like complex, but this isn't even a big scenario. Once you get into bigger scenarios, you're going to really wish you labeled everything, because if I have all these ChatGPT modules and I didn't label them, I would have no idea which each one uses. So maybe when I run it and I see there's an issue with how it wrote the article, I know I can change to this exact module and it'll make the changes that I need. So I highly suggest all of you label every single module that you use. I would also suggest using consistent naming. So for these two, they were using the SAMP. I started Bland AI with both of those. Medium Writer, obviously, just do what makes sense to you. Another one would be separating client. If you're using this for, if you're trying to run your own agency and you're not using this for your own business, separating clients. You can see these are two clients that I used to have back in the day. And I had these separated, and this was obviously my own, but these two clients were separated so that I could easily access depending on which client I was working on that day. Another tip would be when you get to a really good stopping point, all the scenarios working, and now you have to move on to the next step, I would highly suggest duplicating, because you'll have, obviously make.com does have a feature that it saves timestamps, so you can go back to that go back to how you had it originally, but I would still suggest duplicating, because make.com does have a limit to that. It doesn't save all your history, and depending on how long you've been working on a specific scenario, that could get deleted. And if you have to go back and you messed up your editing, you will regret that. Another one is using, if sometimes you can see that make.com has custom apps, like we can see on this one right here. We have Airtable and ChatGPT and Gmail. They have custom apps. Sometimes if that one's not working well, like for example, the email one usually sends emails really slow. If there's, for whatever reason, you need emails sent quickly, you can use a webhook, and most of the time those work a lot faster. I will give you guys tutorials on how to make those and how to use those properly first, but those are all of my pro tips that I've learned while using these scenarios in make.com. All right, and that's my full walkthrough through make.com. That is how I use it to automate and scale everything within clients' businesses and my own. If this helped you, drop a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what kind of videos you guys would like to see next. I will make those two, the webhook tutorial and a beginner tutorial on a beginner scenario. I will be making those, but let me know what other additional videos you guys would like. I'll be dropping more tutorials like this, including automation breakdowns for real estate, content creators, agencies, and more. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you very much for watching.